Did you ever imagine that your own children might one day forget to call you, visit you, or even show genuine care when you're unwell? If yes, then there's something important we need to talk about. Because if you don't take a few essential steps now, this distance may quietly turn into lifelong emotional loneliness. And it might not be entirely their fault. They say children are the reflection of what we teach them. But as we grow older, the dynamics change. It's no longer about what we taught them, but about how we adapt, respond, and recalibrate. And today, we're going to gently peel the layers behind one of the most painful realities many elders face: being forgotten, disrespected, or emotionally abandoned by their own children. It starts very subtly: fewer calls, shorter visits, colder conversation. You begin to notice they are busy, distracted, or simply indifferent. And somewhere deep inside, you wonder, what went wrong? Let's first acknowledge something clearly. The blame game doesn't work. It never. As a lifelong observer of family dynamics and elder psychology, I can tell you, the roots of this emotional gap often lie in repeated patterns, small habits, and overlooked behaviors that build up over time. Let me begin with one core truth. If your children no longer care for you the way they once did, it's not always because they're bad children. In many cases, it's because the emotional space between you grew silently, and neither of you knew how to rebuild. So let's calmly, but deeply, examine the 10 critical things elders unknowingly do that push their children away, and more importantly, how to avoid them before it's too late. One of the earliest emotional gaps often starts with what I call the unsolicited advice trap. At a certain age, we feel we've seen it all, and to some extent we have, but repeatedly telling your grown children how to live, spend, raise kids, or make decisions, without being asked, often sounds like criticism, not care. No matter how pure your intention, if it's received as judgment, it pushes them away. They may smile, nod, or even say thanks, but inside they begin to shrink from you emotionally. What's the solution? Wait until they ask, and when they do, offer your advice as a reflection, not an order. When I was your age, I tried something like this. Rather than, "You should do it this way," tone builds bridges, orders burn them. Another powerful factor is emotional dependency. This one's tough. You raised them, you sacrificed for them. Now you want their time, their presence, their love. Naturally. But when that turns into emotional pressure, guilt-laden words, or frequent reminders like "you never call me," it creates stress, not affection. Young adults, especially in their busy lives, subconsciously avoid what causes guilt. So when every interaction with you feels like a complaint, they limit those interactions. Here's a better path. Build a life around you that excites you. Let your joy inspire them. When they see you emotionally independent, smiling, enjoying hobbies, and investing in your own growth, they come back with admiration, not obligation. Let's talk about another silent destroyer: negativity. This doesn't mean you're a negative person, but if every conversation begins with what's wrong with the world, how bad the news is, what the neighbor did, or how painful your body feels, your children may start to feel emotionally drained in your presence. They don't say it, but slowly they reduce the frequency of interaction, because deep down, they associate time with you as time spent feeling burdened. Of course you have pain. Of course life has been tough. But practice flipping the script. Start with one good thing each time you talk. A flower you saw, a moment of peace, a memory that made you smile. It changes everything. Now here's something subtle but deeply damaging. Comparisons. Saying things like, "Your cousin calls her mother every day," or "When I was young we never treated our elders like this," may seem like innocent observations, but they hurt. They make your child feel like they are never enough. And people, no matter their age, avoid situations where they feel like they're failing. Instead, use gratitude. "I loved it when you called yesterday. It really made my week." Gratitude grows connections. Comparisons destroy them. There's also a tendency, especially after retirement, to lose personal passion and expect your children to fill that void. This is dangerous. Your children are not responsible for your daily joy. That's still yours, whether it's morning walks, books, a small garden, writing letters, painting, or volunteering. Keep your soul fed with meaning. When your life is rich in purpose, your energy becomes magnetic. They will want to be around you. Now let me speak about a common misunderstanding: financial expectations. It's okay to need help, many elders do, But the conversation around money must always come with clarity, dignity, and boundary. When children feel they're only being contacted during emergencies or money discussions, it hurts the relationship. Talk openly. Let them know you appreciate their support, but also be transparent about your efforts. And always thank them for every small help they provide. Gratitude heals money wounds. Let's pause here and touch something deep. Ego. Ego says, they should respect me first. But love, real enduring love, often means making the first move, even when you're older. Apologize when needed. Reach out first. Write a letter of forgiveness if years of silence stand between you. Age doesn't grant automatic peace, maturity does. And sometimes, saying I'm sorry as an elder opens the floodgates of healing more than any long explanation ever could. I've also noticed something beautiful in elders who never lose the attention of their children. They practice gentle presence. They don't try too hard. They don't demand. They don't beg. They just remain. Kind, steady, present, a warm call, a simple text, a memory shared. No guilt, no pressure, just presence. That energy is irresistible. Your child may be 40, they may be 60, but when they feel that your energy brings peace, they will return. It might take time, but they will return. And finally, never underestimate the power of learning new things. Yes, even at 70 or 80, when you learn about their interests, a show they love, a place they visited, a book they mentioned, and you respond with curiosity instead of confusion, it tells them, I still care about your world. This builds bridges. Always. A child, no matter how old, still carries fragments of the home they were raised in. The smells, the sounds, the feelings of warmth or silence or judgment they felt in that home, they carry it forward into adulthood. And that's where the second half of this truth begins. Your child's current behavior might be built upon memories you've long forgotten, but they have never really let go. Sometimes we grow as parents, but the damage done in a child's youth echoes much later. That's why, to truly understand why your child may not care as they once did, you have to look not just at recent years but far back into the silent shadows of your shared history. Not to blame yourself, but to become aware. One of the biggest reasons children emotionally detach from their parents in adulthood is unresolved emotional pain from childhood. Maybe it was a time you raised your voice too often. Maybe you never said, I'm proud of you when they needed it most. Maybe you always compared them to someone else. Or maybe they just never felt safe enough to share their pain. Now as you sit older, wiser and gentler, they still remember. They've moved on with life, but not always with peace. This is why I always tell elders to become a safe place again, not by words but by energy. If your child feels that now, finally they can sit beside you and be accepted for who they are. Not what they did. Healing begins. Sometimes your healing begins their healing. Begin by apologizing, not for a single thing but for everything unsaid. If ever in your childhood I made you feel unloved, unseen, or not good enough, I want to say sorry. That single sentence, said with sincerity, can soften even the hardest memories. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't defend. Just apologize. Your strength lies in your softness. Let's talk about communication patterns. Many elders struggle with changing technology, language styles, and fast conversations. They either speak too little or too much. But one thing is clear, if every call or meeting turns into a monologue, your child will pull away. Modern communication is short, quick, and layered. You must learn to read between the lines. If your child says, I'm busy, don't hear, I don't care. Hear, I'm overwhelmed. And respond with grace. I understand. Let's talk when you have peace. This shows wisdom. If they forget your birthday or anniversary, instead of silence or sulking, send them a message saying, today was special to me. I missed you. Hope your day was calm. This plants seeds of thought, not thorns of guilt. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable, but crucial. Boundaries. Some elders unknowingly cross boundaries by being over-involved, checking in too often, trying to dictate their lifestyle, commenting on their partner, or even involving themselves in financial or personal matters too deeply. Understand this clearly. Your child, even at 30 or 50, is not your extension. They are their own person. And sometimes love means giving space, not holding tighter. If you always give your opinion even when unasked, you may be pushing them away. Try this instead. Do you want my thoughts on this, or should I just listen? This one sentence makes all the difference. It shows respect. Let's move gently into another critical truth. Silence during their tough time. Many children stop caring deeply for parents not because of what happened, but because of what didn't. When they were going through depression, you told them to stay strong. When they had a miscarriage, you said you'll try again. When they failed, you reminded them of their responsibilities. But you forgot to sit beside them and say nothing. You forgot to hold their pain. If that moment is gone, you can't bring it back. But you can write a letter now, or speak from the heart. I realized I wasn't there for you as I should have been. I want to be now. You'd be surprised how many doors open when you speak with honesty and without ego. Let's shift now to the role of new family members. Sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, even grandchildren. Many elders feel replaced, forgotten, invisible. But sometimes the fault lies not in the family but in how they were welcomed. If you constantly compare the daughter-in-law to your wife, or criticize the son-in-law's habits, or insist on your old rules in their new home, you build quiet walls. You must understand, your child chose them. To criticize them is to hurt your child's silence. Instead, try learning about them. Ask about their culture, food, memories. Respect their different ways. When your child sees you accepting their partner, they grow closer to you automatically. It's also essential to avoid becoming the silent observer in family gatherings. That person who sits quietly, judging, disconnected. Instead, offer to help. Play a game. Watch a movie together. Take part in small talks. Don't expect them to pull you in. You must walk into their world gently. Now comes a powerful point. Aging without bitterness. Some elders develop resentment as they age. They speak of their sacrifices too often. They recount how they worked hard, gave everything, and got little in return. While these feelings may be valid, repeating them creates distance. Your children did not ask for those sacrifices. They didn't control your choices. They can't repay the past. But they can give you love now if you don't burden them with guilt. Instead of saying, "After all I did, you don't even visit," try, "I miss your presence. It always made me happy." This changes the emotion from blame to invitation. Let's also talk about memory. Many elders often repeat the same stories, forget dates, misplace things, and when their children correct them, they get defensive. Please don't. Aging is natural. Your memory may fade. Your words may stutter, but if you respond with humor and grace, it brings warmth, not tension. Say, "My brain's getting creative again," or remind me I'm having a forgetful day. This self-awareness makes your children comfortable around you instead of walking on eggshells. Now let's dive into something rarely spoken. Your child's own emotional wounds that have nothing to do with you. Maybe they're going through personal issues. Maybe they carry depression, work stress, relationship struggles, or financial pressure. And during these storms, they may stop reaching out. It's not that they don't care. It's that they're drowning. Don't ask, "Why didn't you call?" Instead say, "I sensed something was heavy. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." Be their safe harbor. Be the calm, not the question. Let's shift into health. Your health. Many children, especially in their 30s or 40s, begin to emotionally detach because they feel helpless, watching their parents decline. If they repeatedly see you sick, tired, unmotivated, refusing to exercise or eat well, they silently retreat. They feel powerless. But if you show effort, daily walks, light stretching, drinking water, doing your tests on time, taking vitamins, and keeping your medical appointments, they feel hopeful. That hope brings connection. Show them you still care about staying alive, staying strong, staying here with them. Let's open the door now to hobbies, passions, and the one thing elders often neglect: laughter. Laughter is not a luxury. It's medicine. It's memory. It's magnetism. Watch light-hearted shows. Join laughter clubs. Attend community events. Let your children see you laughing again. It tells them you still enjoy life, and they'll want to share it with you. No one wants to be around someone who's constantly grieving life, but everyone wants to return to the place where joy lives. That place can be you.
Now comes a unique point. Privacy. Children often feel uncomfortable visiting elders because of constant questions. Where were you? What time did you sleep? Why are you wearing this? Why are you still unmarried? These questions may seem harmless to you, but to them, they feel like inspections. If you want more visits, more calls, more love, give more privacy. Allow them to be who they are without constant analysis. Respect creates return. And finally, let's talk about forgiveness. You may be holding something too. Maybe your child once shouted, or stopped visiting, or said something cruel. That pain lives inside you. But if you don't let it go, it continues to poison the relationship. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's your way of saying, I choose peace now. Even if they never apologize, you can still say, I choose to love you beyond that moment. That choice might heal more than you can imagine. And as you think deeply tonight, sitting in your chair with memories flooding your mind, ask yourself this, not why don't they care about me, but what kind of parent do I want to be today? Because the past is written, but the present still has breath. The present still has a pulse. And in that present, your child may still be waiting for a new story to begin. One that has less blame and more understanding. One that's less about you never call and more about I'm still here and I still love you. The story isn't over. It's just paused. Sometimes, all it takes is one peaceful step forward to bring them home again.
A mother once told me, I gave my children everything. I raised them alone, fed them with my own hands, took care of their every need. Now I'm old and alone and they don't even ask if I've eaten? That sentence was filled with heartbreak, but behind it was also misunderstanding. Giving everything doesn't always mean you gave the right things. Sometimes, love was given as control, care was given with expectation, support came with hidden strings, and sometimes, your child loved you deeply, but never learned how to express it. That's why, in these final reflections, we must understand a larger truth. This is not about blame. This is about insight, and insight leads to healing. Many elders carry unspoken sorrow. They replay old moments, their child ignoring a phone call, skipping a festival, forgetting a birthday. These things matter. Yes, but focusing only on what is missing keeps you blind to what is possible. And what is possible is reconnection, but not through guilt, not through pleading, through awareness and change. Begin with environment. Your home, is it a space of comfort or tension? Is it filled with warmth or with rules? Many elders don't realize their home feels like a place of scolding. When a child visits, they hear corrections, complaints, or chaos. The fan is too fast, the child's clothes are inappropriate, their habits are wrong, and slowly, that home becomes a place they avoid, not embrace. Try changing the atmosphere, keep some soft music playing. Offer tea with a smile, not with sarcasm. Prepare a space for rest, not interrogation. Ask questions from curiosity, not judgment. When your child walks in, they should feel, I'm home, not let's get this over with. Small changes, deep impact. Now let's speak of legacy. Many elders think legacy is land, or gold, or property. But the true legacy is memory. What will your child remember of you? The scolding, the fights, the endless instructions? Or will they remember you smiling while watering your plants, helping neighbors, enjoying classical music, laughing at your own forgetfulness, forgiving when you had every reason not to? That legacy matters more than the will you leave behind. Be remembered for peace, not property. Next comes time, not theirs, yours. Many elders say they don't have time for me, but do you have time for you? Do you use your day meaningfully? Do you have hobbies that still bring joy? A morning routine, a walking circle, a friend to call, or is your day just waiting? Waiting for a call, waiting for a knock, waiting for someone to remember you. This kind of waiting drains your soul. Instead, live for yourself, for your breath, for your body, for your creator. When your children see you living, not waiting, they'll start returning, not out of pity, but out of admiration. Let's turn now to the power of listening. Listening does not mean hearing. It means understanding without interrupting. Many parents only listen to reply. They jump in with solutions, jokes, or judgments. But what children want, especially in adulthood, is space to be heard without correction. Next time they talk, just pause, nod, say that sounds tough. Or tell me more. Silence can be more healing than 1,000 suggestions. When they feel truly heard, they'll start speaking more. When they speak more, they return more. It's that simple. Another important area is language, not just words but tone. Even a kind word in a sharp tone becomes a weapon. Why didn't you come earlier? Can be asked, like a stab, or like a smile. Soften your tone, slow your speech, speak like you would to a friend, not an employee. Your child is not your responsibility anymore, they are your companion. And companions deserve kindness. Let's now face the truth about changing value. The world your child lives in is different. They may eat different food, follow new beliefs, live in strange cities, or raise children with new rules. Fighting these changes won't bring them closer. Acceptance will. You don't have to agree, but you can You don't have to copy, but you can understand. When your child sees that you don't mock their choices, even silently, they will feel safer with you, and that safety brings closeness. Now we must touch a deeper wound, abandonment. Sometimes the child truly leaves, not just physically, but emotionally. They ignore calls, they don't show up, they forget you in celebrations, and it hurts deeply. In such cases, many elders retreat, they build walls. They say, if they don't care, I won't either. But this approach leads to one thing: loneliness. Instead, channel your love elsewhere. Join community groups, visit orphanages, help young mothers, teach children, speak with neighbors, share your wisdom. When your energy flows outward with love, something unexpected happens. Your own child feels that warmth from a distance and begins to thaw. Not always, but often, love spreads, always. Even if it doesn't return from the same place, it returns. Let's speak now about humor. A life without humor is a heavy life. Many elders become serious, angry, or too philosophical, but laughter, soft, respectful, natural laughter, is like sunlight through a window. Make jokes, laugh at mistakes, don't take everything personally, don't analyze every word your child says. Let some things slide. Laughter invites comfort, and comfort builds bridges. Let's talk about technology. Yes, it may seem difficult. Yes, the phone has too many buttons. The apps are confusing, but your child lives there now. So if you want to meet them, learn that language. Ask for help. Can you teach me how to use WhatsApp video? How do I join your social media? When you show willingness, they see love. You don't have to master it, just try. Trying shows care. Another forgotten element: appreciation. Thank your child, not just for big things, but small ones. Thank them for the visit, for the medicine they sent, for replying, for helping with bills, for being your child. Gratitude is not weakness, it is power. When someone feels appreciated, they do more. Now let's talk about criticism. Not of them, but of the world. Some elders constantly criticize everything: news, politics, neighbors, society, clothing, technology. This creates a negative atmosphere. Instead, find one good thing every day. Speak of hope, of change, of growth. When your child hears your voice filled with hope, they return for that sound. Because the world already gives them stress. Be their peace. Let's now face the body. Yes, aging brings aches, pains, limits. But it also brings stillness, wisdom, patience. Don't make your illness the center of every talk. Yes, mention it. Be honest, but also speak of what feels good. What made you smile? What food tasted good today? What breeze felt fresh? Balance your narrative. Even if your body declines, your soul can still shine. Your child sees, and it draws them in. Let's come to rituals. Every family had rituals. Sunday meals, shared prayers, TV nights, festivals. Try reviving even one of them. Make that special dish, light that same candle, sing that old song. Invite them to a memory. Not with words but with action. Nostalgia is a bridge. Use it. Now, here's a point most forget. Don't expect perfection from your child. They may never become the ideal caring child you dreamed of. But even if they show up once a week, or once a month, appreciate that. Water that. Because expectations lead to pain. Acceptance leads to peace. Let them be who they are. Love them there. And finally,
Look in the mirror. Ask yourself gently, do I smile enough? Do I say I love you enough? Do I ask how are you, without turning it into let me tell you my problem? Do I allow do I forgive? Do I try? If the answers are yes, then trust the process. Love is not a race, it's a circle. What you give returns, sometimes fast, sometimes slowly, but it returns, even if your children seem far. Build yourself again. Be the light they want to return to, and even if they don't, let your light heal others, because your worth is not only in being a parent, your worth is in being you, completely, peacefully, lovingly, always.